Why do some people step into marriage without feeling real joy, excitement, or anticipation, yet still tell themselves they're a good match? Love can grow later. Why do you know clearly that you don't truly desire this person, not their touch, not their closeness, not a lifetime imagined together, and yet you still move forward step by step, the engagement, the wedding, the vows, wrapping not loving in the language of a rational choice? And why is it that when everyone around you is celebrating, telling you that you finally settled down, the strongest feeling inside you isn't happiness, but a quiet pressure, a hesitation, or even a faint sense of self-betrayal? If these questions have ever crossed your mind, then today's conversation is not about judging your decision and not about placing any marriage on a moral scale. What we're talking about is a psychological reality experienced by countless people, yet rarely discussed honestly. Why so many people end up marrying someone they don't truly love. And what happens to a person's mind, their body, and their sense of self when they live for years inside a marriage without real emotional connection. Many people enter loveless marriages not because of impulse, but because logically the decision makes sense. You may not feel deeply drawn to anyone, but you meet someone who is stable, emotionally predictable, and consistent in daily life. They have a job, they're responsible, they don't disappear, they don't create chaos. To friends, it looks like a mature relationship. To family, it feels like a relief. At least now we don't have to worry. So you start telling yourself, passion fades, marriage isn't a fairy tale, this is what adulthood looks like. Psychology shows that under prolonged stress, the brain quietly shifts its goal. It stops optimizing for happiness and starts optimizing for risk reduction. You no longer ask, do I truly want this person? You ask instead, is this likely to go wrong? In that moment, marriage subtly transforms into a life management strategy, not being alone, not being pressured, not being seen as someone who fell behind. Within this logic, not loving someone doesn't feel dangerous. Instability does. So you choose safety, not because you're cold, but because you've learned how to be rational. The real question isn't whether the choice was smart. It's whether rationality was used to silence a doubt that was already there. Many people don't actually choose the wrong person, they choose someone who feels familiar. Psychology shows that our sense of intimacy is often guided less by connection and more by familiarity. If you grew up in an environment marked by emotional tension, instability, or inconsistent care, your nervous system learned something early. Love requires endurance. So in adulthood, you may feel drawn to people who feel safe, not because you desire them, but because your body finally relaxes around them. For someone with an anxious attachment style, stability feels like relief. For someone with an avoidant attachment style, emotional distance feels like safety. So you may not feel the urge to move closer, yet you're willing to stay. You tell yourself, they treat me well. I'm not anxious with them. At least I don't have to worry about being left. But psychology draws a clear distinction. Safety is not the same as love. Love carries movement, the wish to share, to be understood, to reach toward another person, not merely coexist beside them. Familiarity only quiets fear. When someone mistakes the absence of anxiety for love, they are often using old survival patterns to make a lifelong decision. This isn't weakness, it's nervous system memory. The problem is that when real emotional connection appears, you may no longer recognize it as essential. And without realizing it, you settle not for love, but for what feels survivable. Reason can persuade itself for years, the body cannot. For many people in loveless marriages, the first signs of misalignment don't appear as thoughts, they appear as physical responses. Intimacy starts to feel like an obligation. Touch requires preparation. Kissing feels like performance, not repulsion, just absence. You may not be able to explain it, yet you instinctively avoid closeness. You stay later at work, you delay going home, you feel relief only when you're alone. Psychology suggests that the body registers emotional truth before language or moral reasoning does. When genuine connection is missing, the nervous system enters a low-level state of vigilance, not intense pain, but constant tension. Fatigue increases, irritability rises, sleep becomes lighter, focus weakens. These reactions don't mean you're ungrateful or overly sensitive. They mean your body is recording something simple. This relationship is not nourishing me. The mind keeps offering explanations. Marriage is supposed to be like this. Passion fades. Everyone lives this way, but the body doesn't respond to narratives. It answers only one question: am I safe and emotionally connected here? When the answer remains no, the body begins to withdraw energy, not as punishment, not as laziness, as conservation. The most hidden cost of settling is that nothing collapses all at once. You don't lose your life, you slowly lose your capacity to feel it. Loveless marriages rarely collapse in dramatic ways. More often they dissolve quietly. There are no explosive fights, no obvious betrayal, no clear moment where everything breaks. Life continues to function. Bills are paid, children are cared for, schedules are maintained. On the surface, the relationship works, but emotionally, someone begins to disappear. Conversations become transactional. Communication turns into logistics. The desire to share slowly dries up. You stop expecting to be understood, and eventually you stop trying to explain yourself at all. Psychology refers to this state as emotional withdrawal. Not coldness, not indifference, but self-protection after repeated emotional non-response. When the authentic parts of you have no place in the relationship, you begin to compress yourself. You feel less, want less, reach less. Over time, this can lead to a state where you are still functioning, but no longer alive inside. This isn't major depression. It's something quieter. Functional depletion. You continue working, socializing, smiling in public, while your internal energy steadily declines. The most dangerous shift happens here. You begin to distrust your own feelings. You ask yourself, am I asking for too much? Am I ungrateful? When someone repeatedly silences their inner signals, psychological balance starts to erode. Anxiety, emotional numbness, a vague sense of emptiness about the future. This is how loveless marriages consume people, not by destroying their lives, but by slowly removing the self while everything still looks normal. When someone finally realizes they are in a loveless marriage, the hardest part is not seeing the truth. It's deciding what comes next. Staying means acknowledging that the relationship has not provided the connection you truly need. Leaving means losing time, stability, identity, and everything you've invested. So this needs to be said clearly, neither choice is easy. Staying is not weakness. Leaving is not failure. What matters is not the form of the decision, but whether you begin to be honest with yourself. If you choose to stay, it can no longer be settling. Staying must mean rebuilding. No longer pretending everything is fine. No longer using responsibility or should to suppress real feelings. It means talking about loneliness, distance, need. and giving the relationship a chance to be understood anew. If you choose to leave, that is not avoidance. Leaving with dignity is a form of clarity. It means recognizing that this relationship can no longer carry your authentic self. You are not leaving for someone else. You are leaving so you don't continue to disappear. Whichever path you take, growth happens in the same moment. When you stop telling yourself, "This is good enough," and begin asking, "Is this the life I want?" Marriage is not just shared living. It is the emotional air you breathe every morning when you wake up. If you have been unable to breathe for a long time, the problem was never you. True courage is not making a decision immediately. It is finally choosing not to betray yourself anymore. This is happy psychology. May understanding bring healing, and healing bring growth.